Meteorologist Jared Floyd.
Rain and storms from this morning continuing to clear off to the east, and the clouds also clearing with it. We're seeing a little bit of sunshine late this afternoon. Really hasn't made a huge difference overall in temperatures, and I don't think you're going to hear a whole lot of complaints about that overnight or through the day tomorrow. Lows tonight will drop back to near 70, highs tomorrow near 90, with decreasing clouds through the afternoon. That's your forecast first. NBC 10 News at 5 starts now.
Live from your local news leader, this is NBC 10 News at 5.
Right now, kids up before daylight for an hour-and-a-half ride to school. Union Parish parents upset about changes to bus routes.
Kicking butts in public housing. How to enforce a nationwide smoking ban. How will it change life for folks who live there?
Plus, Arkansas Airport's getting a major federal funds to repair and replace. Find out what Camden Airport plans to do with the money.
We're glad to have you in this Tuesday. I'm Gordon Boyd.
I'm Natasha Williams. Our top story at 5. Police have captured the second suspect in the shooting of a 16-year-old girl. Dylan Langley has been charged with attempted second-degree murder and booked into the Washita Correctional Center. William Kane, the other suspect, was arrested Saturday morning. The girl suffered a wound to one of her hips when shots were fired into a home on Keller Street in West Monroe. Last month, a teenage girl died after being shot while standing in the yard of that same property. 4 people face charges in that case.
Here's proof that security cameras can stop would-be thieves. Now Sterlington police are hoping that you can help catch them. Look closely at 3 guys in this truck. The truck itself pulled into a carport, likely to steal lawn equipment, but hauled out once folks saw the camera. If you know who these gentlemen are, call Sterlington police at the number you see there on your screen.
Monroe man is in custody for breaking into cars. 33-year-old Julian Knight faces 2 counts of vehicular burglary, and 2 more of felon possessing a firearm. Now, deputies say the incidents occurred near the Pecan Bayou subdivision and Finks Hideaway Road early last Thursday morning. They found Knight hiding nearby. They expect to file more charges.
A building that's been in the Camden community for years has burned to the ground. What was once a mortuary, then a doctor's office, even a private home, now all but ashes. The Camden Police Department says that William Milner is responsible. On August 24th, about 6 o'clock, officers responded to William Street for a report of gunshots. Found Milner, charged him with possessing a firearm by a certain person and discharging a firearm inside certain city limits. At the same time, police were investigating a house fire at 120 Van Buren. During the investigation, officials found Milner tied to that crime. Friends left the house, or the owner rather, left the house to some friends. They say seeing it in flames was terrible.
And by the time we got here, it was pretty much fully engulfed in flames. And we were fortunate the fire department was right next door, but it's an old house, a lot of wood, very dry wood, and it burned very quickly.
At 6, NBC 10 Sheriff Cobbs tells us more about the arson and how the homeowner and suspect are connected.
New Orleans police are starting at square one after a gruesome discovery Sunday night. Firefighters found 2 bodies burned beyond recognition when they put out a brush fire in the Algiers community near Malmus Avenue and Bennett Street. Now, investigators say both bodies show evidence of foul play, so they're treating them both as homicides. They aren't releasing any other information.
Family members are asking for help with funeral expenses for 2 of the 3 people who were killed in the Central City shooting Saturday night. 38-year-old Kershaw Jackson leaves a 17-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son. 27-year-old Taisha Watkins was visiting from Houston to cheer up a friend who had lost a family member. She has a 5-year-old daughter. Police have offered a $25,000 reward for catching the gunman. They believe the shootings began as a gang-related hit, and police confirmed the second man killed was a member of the 3NG gang based in Central City. The rampage also left 7 people wounded. Start of the school year just around the corner, but bus changes are coming big time for Union Parish schools.
Meaning some kids will have to wake up in the wee hours of the morning. NBC 10's Randy Ayala has been talking to district leaders and upset parents. Randy, what are they saying?
If I got to be at school by 7:30, then I'm going to be picked up at 6 o'clock. That means I got to get up at 5 o'clock. And what they're concerned about is how long their children are going to be riding on that bus, and which that's our concern too.
Thank you, Randy. As of today, a nationwide smoking ban is in effect for millions of families in public housing.
NBC 10's Bria Jones talked to the Monroe Housing Authority about how they'll enforce that ban and residents about how that ban will impact their lives. Bria.
That's right, Gordon and Natasha. Today, the Department of Housing and Urban Development's smoke ban will go into effect nearly 2 years after it passed. The new rule bans the lighting of all tobacco products, which includes cigarettes, cigars, and pipes inside any public housing facilities. The ban does not include e-cigarettes or chewing tobacco. According to HUD, approximately 1.2 million households live in public housing units. I caught up with residents in local public housing who had a lot to say about the new ban.
I'm going to smoke my cigarette in the house. Now, I'm sorry if they don't like it, they won't put me out. I have to find somewhere to stay, but I ain't doing it.
I think we should not smoke over here because we have kids. It's a hip apartment, you know, the white walls to come clean, and, you know, we can do better in the apartments and projects.
At 6, hear from the Monroe Housing Authority about how the smoking ban will help them save money in the long run. In the studio, Bria Jones, NBC 10, your local news leader.
Thanks a lot, Bria. Several smaller airports across the Artemis are getting money from the Federal Aviation Administration to make improvements. That includes Harrell Field in Camden, Arkansas. They're getting just over $115,000 to rehabilitate the aprons on the airport. Stell Field in Crossett is getting just over $500,000 for runway rehab. And Grinder Field in Pine Bluff is getting $149,000 for taxiway constructions. This is the same pool of money that is expanding Monroe's Regional Airport's runway. Also in Louisiana, the Jonesville Airport in Catahoula Parish is getting just over $300,000 for apron repairs.
More than 430 new Louisiana laws are taking effect tomorrow, among them tougher hazing penalties following the death of an LSU freshman in a fraternity drinking ritual. Louisiana's waiting period to get married, though, is dropping from 72 to 24 hours from license to ceremony. Schools have to give parents information about flu causes and vaccines. No more ban, though, on switchblades, but you can't tether pets during a hurricane or flood. Video poker facilities will have fewer rules. Companies selling DNA testing kits, though, will have to tell Louisiana customers if their genetic material will be used for research or other purposes. Heading to Washington, where President Trump is ready to talk immigration and nuclear weapons.
And flood insurance, that is, dodges a bullet, the last-minute extension, and the long-term crisis.
The clouds and rain moved out of here this morning. Very pleasant conditions on the way for the next few days of August. What does that exactly entail? Lower humidity for one. A full look at the forecast as NBC 10 News at 5 continues.
Next, E.T. Justin Bieber, a member of Bachelor Nation.
Hey, bro. Like your show.
It's one of the most anticipated midterm elections in history, and NBC News has full coverage from across the country to your local team. How will it impact you? Join NBC for complete coverage of Decision 2018.
Attention patients who received an MRI with contrast. Do you suffer from burning or thickening of the skin, intense bone and joint pain, or severe skin pain? Gadolinium may be the cause. Call attorney Morris Bart at 1-800-222-0922.
The Dr. Oz Wellness Network, your guide to healthy living on myarklamiss.com.
Morehouse Community Medical Center provides medical, dental, and counseling services at 7 locations.
Find out more on the Dr. Oz Wellness Network.
Bayou Power Sports has the full line of Polaris ATVs and side-by-sides, Rangers, Generals, Razors, Sportsmen, and now, after years of testing and development, Polaris brings you the completely reinvented Polaris Ranger XP 1000. More ground clearance, more towing, better drivability, more storage, more everything. But that's not the coolest thing. These babies have heat and air conditioning. Heat and air conditioning in a side-by-side. Come take one for a ride at Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road, past Sam's, Monroe.
News, sponsored by the Plumbing Warehouse, LCR.
Four months to fix a program billions in debt.
This is a baby step.
Louisiana Senator John Kennedy is happy a crisis was averted. If the National Flood Insurance Program expired Tuesday night, home sales would stall and policy renewals would stop in the middle of hurricane season.
This just buys us 4 months. We've still got to pass a permanent reauthorization.
The last-minute stopgap shows the struggle of lawmakers to reform a program that's backed by taxpayers and $25 billion in debt. The National Flood Insurance Program provides the vast majority of flood policies in the U.S. Louisiana's other Senator Bill Cassidy also supports the extension.
The purpose is to allow continued efforts at reform of this program to again make it more accountable, more affordable, and more sustainable.
Reforms being considered would allow for better assessment of storm damage, new mapping of flood-prone areas, and efforts to get more private sector plans in the market. Lawmakers are also grappling with how to slow the growth of the program's debt, racked up through a series of catastrophic hurricanes. Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker.
We need to make this program financially sustainable for the long term.
But the program has its critics. 12 senators voted against the extension, including Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, who through a spokesman called the program structurally flawed, adding that multiple short-term extensions have promised reforms that never happen. In Washington, I'm Drew Petrimo.
Well, it's Let's Make a Deal time in Washington. President Trump says he's ready to talk immigration with Congress and nuclear weapons with Iran. NBC's Tracy Potts has the latest from Washington.
President Trump doubling down on his threat to shut down the federal government over immigration.
I would have no problem doing a shutdown. It's time we had proper border security.
Like a border wall fully paid for? Not necessarily, the president says, but this shutdown threat, still 2 months away, is not sitting well on Capitol Hill.
I think it would be a mistake, and I don't think it's going to be necessary.
No one wins. I think the American people expect us to do our job.
Part of that job, keeping America safe. After an escalating war of words with Iran, Mr. Trump now says he's willing to sit down with the country's president.
No preconditions, no. They want to meet, I'll meet. Anytime they want. Anytime they want.
Discussions to end the nuclear threat. The National Security Council is backing him up with a list of incentives, including getting rid of economic sanctions if Iran cooperates. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
Feeling awfully nice out there. It seems like lower humidity, right?
If only it could last.
It's going to hang out for a couple of days, so
we'll
enjoy it while it lasts. 90s return for some tomorrow, but it certainly won't feel like it. A full look at the forecast as NBC 10 News at 5 continues.
Later at Health Watch, cutting sugar out of your diet won't help you lose weight alone.
We've got some tips to help you drop those pounds and still be able to eat some delicious sweets when we come back.